In the next 15 minutes, you'll learn exactly how to prepare a winning E2 visa application for 2025. I'll cover the minimum investment requirements, the essential documents you need, and the 3 questions you must be prepared to answer in your interview. This process is like assembling a complex puzzle where each piece matters. Imagine turning this daunting paperwork into your ticket to the American dream. My approach has helped entrepreneurs from 5 different countries successfully obtain their E2 visas, even after previous rejections. I'll provide investment thresholds that satisfy immigration officials, document checklists that prevent delays, interview preparation strategies. If you're ready to take action on your American business goals, stay with me. Understanding the E2 visa opportunity. Let me tell you about George, a Taiwanese entrepreneur who faced rejection after rejection in the US job market. Despite his skills and passion for helping others, every door seemed closed. But George refused to give up. He discovered the E2 visa pathway, a chance not just to work, but to build something of his own. Within 18 months of making his investment and securing his visa, George's company, founded with grit and a vision for service, tripled its revenue and grew into a team of 16. His journey from an overlooked job applicant to successful business owner is a powerful reminder of what opportunities are available with strong determination. Here's the twist. George's story is my story. I'm Jimmy Lai, the founder of a thriving law firm that now serves hundreds of clients each year across immigration, family law, estate planning, personal injury, and more. I've lived and currently living the E2 journey from the inside out. And now I help others do the same. Because the E2 visa isn't just a piece of paper, it's a second chance, a fresh start, and for entrepreneurs like you, it could be the beginning of something extraordinary. So what exactly is an E2 visa? At its core, the E2 is a non-immigrant visa specifically designed for investors who come from countries that maintain treaties of commerce and navigation with the United States. This visa allows these foreign nationals to enter and work in the US based on a substantial investment in the US business. Unlike some other visa categories, the E2 is renewable indefinitely as long as the business continues to operate successfully. Many potential applicants misunderstand who qualifies for an E2 visa. A common misconception is that only wealthy individuals with millions to invest can apply. The reality is far from accessible. Another frequent error is assuming all foreigners can qualify regardless of nationality. The E2 visa is exclusively available to citizens of treaty countries, currently numbering about 80 nations, including the UK, Canada, Japan, Mexico, most European countries. Citizens of non-treaty countries like India, China, and Brazil are not eligible regardless of their investment amount. However, if you have a passport from the second country, you can qualify for an E2 visa. The 2 fundamental requirements for E2 qualifications are straightforward but strict. First, you must be a national of a treaty country. This citizenship requirement cannot be circumvented through residency in another country. Second, you must make a substantial investment in a legitimate US business enterprise. Both elements must be satisfied without exception. The definition of what constitutes a substantial investment has evolved significantly for 2025 applications. While historically, some consulates informally suggest minimum thresholds around 100,000, immigration authorities now assess substantiality proportionality to the business type. A consulting firm might only require $50,000 to be considered substantial, while a manufacturing operation might need $500,000 or more. The key test is whether your investment is sufficient to ensure the business successful operation. The E2 visa accommodates a surprisingly diverse range of business types, from technology startups and retail operations to professional services and manufacturing enterprises. Virtually any legitimate business can qualify. A solo consultant can secure an E2 visa just as readily as someone purchasing an established franchise, provided the investment is proportionate to the enterprise's needs. Even business with seasonal operations can qualify if they demonstrate year-round management activities. One critical distinction that immigration officers focus on is whether your business is marginal or non-marginal. A marginal enterprise merely provides enough income to support you and your family, essentially creating a job just for yourself. Non-marginal businesses, which are strongly preferred for E2 approval, generate jobs for US workers and show potential for significant growth beyond supporting the investor's livelihood. In 2025, applications must clearly demonstrate how the business will expand to create employment opportunities for Americans within 5 5 years. The potential rewards of E2 status extend well beyond simply living in the United States. E2 visa holders can bring their spouse and unmarried children under 21. Spouses can obtain work authorization, allowing them to work anywhere in the US, not just in the E2 business. The visa can be renewed indefinitely as long as the business remains operational and compliant. For many entrepreneurs, the E2 also serves as a stepping stone to eventual permanent residency through other pathways, though it doesn't directly lead to a green card. Now we're going to talk about investment requirements and documentation. Despite what many might suggest, there's an eye-opening truth about E2 visa investments that few applicants realize. Immigration authorities don't enforce a fixed minimum investment threshold. The $100,000 rule that circulates widely is actually more a guideline than requirement. Immigration officers apply a proportionality test, evaluating whether your investment is substantial relative to the total cost of establishing your specific business. This flexible approach means a service-based consulting firm might qualify with a $50,000 investment, while a manufacturing operation could require $500,000 or more to meet the substantial criteria. What matters isn't just the dollar amount, but whether your investment represents a significant commitment to establishing a viable enterprise. When examining your application, immigration officers are particularly concerned whether your investment is genuinely at risk. This doesn't mean they want your business to be risky. Rather, they need proof that your capital is actively exposed to potential loss if the business fails. Simply transferring funds to a US bank account without deploying that capital into business operations won't satisfy this requirement. The structure of your investment demands careful consideration. If you're using loans as part of your investment capital, be aware that these loans cannot be secured by the assets of the E2 enterprise itself. Only personal loans, whether secured by your personal assets like a second mortgage or unsecured loans from family or friends, are permissible. In these situations, documentation such as a promissory note becomes essential evidence in your application. Creating a clear trail that demonstrates the legitimate source of your funds is perhaps the most critical aspect of the E2 application process. Immigration authorities need to see exactly how you obtain your investment capital. Common sources include savings, proceeds from property sales in your home country, or personal loans. Even gifts can also qualify. For each dollar invested, you'll need corresponding documentation, bank statements, tax returns, property sale contracts, proving the funds were legally acquired and are under your control. A carefully crafted business plan forms the backbone of a successful E2 application for new ventures. Beyond the standard elements like market analysis and marketing strategies, your plan must include specific components that address immigration concerns, detailed job descriptions for key employees, including your own role, hiring projections that demonstrate job creation for U.S. workers, and 5-year financial projections showing the business will be more than marginal. Many applicants underestimate the importance of these projections. A marginal enterprise, one that merely provides income, won't satisfy visa requirements. Your business plan must convincingly show that your venture will generate enough income to support more than just your family and will create employment opportunities for Americans within 5 years. For E2 applicants launching startups, immigration officers will scrutinize whether your business is genuinely ready to operate. This means having secured business premises with pay rent, obtained all necessary permits and licenses, and having essential equipment in place. The business should be positioned to commence operations immediately upon visa approval. The complete documentation package for an E2 application is extensive. Beyond the standard forms like DS-160, DS-156E, you'll need to compile incorporation documents, ownership structure information, capitalization records, marketing materials, sales contracts, and lease agreements, and financial statements. While there's no official requirements, your application must thoroughly address all these aspects to demonstrate that your investment is substantial at risk and positioned to succeed. Structuring your investment to maximize approval chances involves ensuring funds are not just committed, but irrevocably committed to your enterprise. This might include equipment purchases, inventory acquisition, or even intellectual property contributions, not just cash deposits. Immigration officers want to see that your business is either already operational or on the immediate verge of launching. Next, we'll go over the application process and interview preparation. With your investment irrevocably committed and your business structure in place, you're about to enter what many consider the most challenging phase of the E2 journey, the application process itself. What's really interesting about E2 applications is the timing advantage that few applicants recognize. scrutinized. Applications submitted in January 2025 show a higher approval rate compared to other months, a strategic timing element that can significantly impact your chances of success. The E2 application process unfolds in distinct phases, each with its own timeline and requirements. Initially, you'll need to complete the DS-160, a dynamic form that adapts based on your responses. This is followed by the DS-156E, which, despite being only 3 pages long, requires extensive preparation as it requests detailed information about your business, including employee count, total investment amount, and your specific job responsibilities. One of the first critical decisions you will face is whether to pursue consular processing or change of status through USCIS. While both paths can lead to E2 approval, they serve different purposes and operate on different timelines. Most applicants opt for consular processing at a US embassy or consulate in their home country, and for good reason. Only the DOS, Department of State, can issue the actual E2 visa stamp in your passport, which you will need for international travel. So that means that if you're traveling in and out of the US, you'll need that visa stamp on your passport. If you're already legally in the United States, you might consider filing for a change of status with USCIS. However, understand that this only grants you E2 status within the US. You'll still need to visit a consulate abroad to receive the visa stamp if you plan to travel internationally. This distinction catches many applicants off guard and can lead to unnecessary complications. Processing times vary dramatically between consulates, a factor that applicants leverage to their advantage. For example, an application filed in Toronto might take 2 to 4 months to process, while the same application filed in Mexico City could be completed in longer or less. It really depends on which consulate is processing. There's something as like a third-party, third-country national that you can utilize as well to apply for an E2 visa. After submitting your complete application portfolio, which includes financial records, investment proof, and source of funds documentation, expect a 4 to 10 week review period before being invited for your interview. This waiting period is often the most unpredictable part of the process, as government agencies aren't bound by specific time constraints. For those seeking faster processing, premium processing is available for Form I-129 applications for either changing status to E2. USCIS typically processes these applications really within 30 calendar days, a considerable advantage for time-sensitive business situations. Perhaps the most intimidating aspect of the E2 process is the consular interview. Officers frequently challenge applicants with particularly difficult questions like, how will your business create jobs for Americans beyond the first year? What specific expertise do you bring that requires your presence in the United States? And how can you prove your intent to eventually return home to your home country? To navigate these questions successfully, you will need to demonstrate comprehensive knowledge of your business plan. Be prepared to discuss your 5-year growth strategy, including specific hiring projections and revenue targets. Officers are looking for confident, well-informed responses that indicate genuine business commitment rather than just a desire to live in America. A crucial but often overlooked requirement is demonstrating your intent to depart the US when your E2 status ends. Contrary to popular belief, this doesn't require maintaining a foreign residence or specifying when you'll leave. A signed statement explaining your understanding of this requirement and your commitment to comply is generally sufficient. However, these days, this requirement has been a little bit more difficult sometimes. Your application should include a comprehensive letter from a company or attorney that identifies you as the applicant and details the nature and function of your investment. This letter must appear on company letterhead, bear an original signature from the authorized representative, and clearly state your intent to depart the US upon E2 status termination. So, what's the key takeaway from this E2 visa journey? It's not merely about relocating to America. It's about creating genuine business opportunities that benefit both you and the US economy. Consulting with an experienced immigration attorney significantly improves approval chances. Each consulate maintains unique documentation requirements and preferences, making professional guidance invaluable. The right legal partner helps navigate these complexities, develops effective legal strategies, and help you avoid potential pitfalls throughout the process. Are you ready to begin? Download our free E2 visa checklist through the link below and schedule your strategy session today to transform your entrepreneurial vision into reality. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this and other law videos. Bye.